Oh, we might need a ride. Oh, we have to slide over. We're going this way. Yeah. We should be. That was very nice of Dave.
And his helper would like to call the meeting to order.
What is that cookie?
Certainly, we thank each and every one of you for 2 weeks away from the new year, our celebration year 2025. We have said many times the clock moves fast, especially as we get involved in the planning and preparing for a big-time year, celebrating the history of the town of Easton and our 300th anniversary year. I would like to, at this time, ask everyone to go around the room for the benefit of our TV viewing audience. Tell them who you are and what role you play on our Tricentennial Committee as I welcome you to the December 17th meeting of our Tricentennial Committee. I'm Dave Clifton, happy to be the chair, and Craig, I'll start with you.
Craig Rogers, Select Board Representative. Ken Michael, member of the committee.
Linda Tracy Clifton, Parade Committee.
I'm lost. I thought I was Ken Michael. Oh, no. Lee
You look a lot
Thompson.
like Ken Michael.
You're the one with the hair.
Oh,
Lee Thompson. I'm involved mostly with the Parade Committee.
Roz Miller, Secretary of the Tricentennial Committee, Secretary of the Parade Committee.
Diane Lusardi, Secretary, Tricentennial Committee.
Courtney Pupkin, fundraising.
Michael Good, Marketing Communications.
And Dale Carrister, Vice Chair, and I've been working on the outreach to our community organizations on the community partnership events.
Rob DeGrish, Easton Lions President.
Joan Lundgren, Arts and Cultural Festival in April, along with Diane Lasardi.
Fred Ames and my brother Bill also. We are the honorary co-chairs, and I'm with Oaks Ames and your host tonight.
Alexandra Warnicki, community volunteer.
I'm Dan Anderson, and my wife and I are chairing the block party.
Amanda Hurley, Anne Marie and I are chairing the kickoff and the gala and the merchandise.
Sally Zussman, and I'm helping out with the community calendar and the website.
Well, thank you all once again, and I'd like to also thank Fred as well as Joan for hosting this meeting tonight at the Ames Memorial Hall. I should say the thank you and appreciation also goes to ECAT, Easton Community Access Television, for bringing this meeting into your living room so that you're aware of our planning as we prepare for 2025 just around the corner. At this time, I'd like to approve the minutes of the November 26th meeting as well as the December 10th meeting. We did not get to those minutes at the last meeting, and I know the secretary has mailed copies of the minutes for both the 26th of November and December 10th. Are there any questions? Let's talk first about the November 26 minutes. Any additions, any subtractions? With nobody raising their hand, I would say we'll call for a vote. We're looking for a motion. Roz?
I'll make a motion.
A motion.
Second.
And a second by our secretary. And certainly, all those in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. The motion is carried to accept the minutes of November 26th. And again, you got that motion and a second by Deanne. Let's vote on the minutes of December 10th. Any questions, any concerns? Did you have any changes, Diane? Okay. All those in favor of the minutes of December 10th,
You need a motion
raise your
first,
right
don't you?
hand. A motion?
You need a motion from Ross.
Yes. A motion by Diana first. Do we have a second?
Ross?
A second by Roz. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? The motion is carried.
Thank you.
In my report this evening, I'd just like to mention that Dale and I had the honor and privilege of meeting with the Select Board last evening, and they seem to be very excited. I'm going to let Craig respond to that, but they seem to be very excited about the plans that we've come up with so far. We're not that far away, and before you know it, our first event on November 4th, which is just around the corner. We took a photo.
January.
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 I meant January,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Sam.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Dale if you want to respond to our meeting. I know we covered an awful lot in a short period of time, but of course they have other business that they have to carry on with as well.
Yeah, no, it was a great meeting. The select board was very enthusiastic about what's going on for the Tricentennial. I saw actually the town also posted something today promoting the January 4th event as well, so I think they're going to be taking an active role in that going forward. And Dave and I were there in our full colonial glory, because I think that's really what it was, right? And I'll have you know also that I actually, we had our holiday party in Boston today at the Chart House, and I was in full colonial gear for that as well. I actually had a couple people on the way in the car stopped and they asked about getting a tour.
And I don't get invited to the dinners outside of.
Of
Craig, would you like to say something on behalf of the board?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good presentation. We got a chance to see you guys in the full regalia. We actually got pictures.
Really?
And you're right, Dave, the select board is very excited about this, the 300th anniversary, and very much appreciative of everybody on this committee who's done so much work to bring this to fruition. So we thank you for that.
We're able to give thank yous to not only the board for putting this whole package together. Believe it or not, this is our 50th get-together as a committee. Can you imagine 50 meetings to plan and prepare? We have a lot more to go. We're going to be meeting as well during the year 2025. But we get a chance to thank the town administrator, Connor Reed, as well as Sean, his assistant, for their participation in making sure that we're focused and that we go in the right directions and we do the right things. So the town certainly has participated, and I have thanked on many occasions the town department heads. They have been very cooperative in making sure that we get things done. They were pleased to know that the billboard was up. They know that the pole banners are going to go up shortly. I think Ken is going to give us a brief report about where we stand with that. Even though he's making a face right now, the fact is
This
he's
is my
been.
normal face.
The fact is that we not only have posters, we have brochures. We've been very fortunate to have some talented people in the community that can put together brochures and do the things that need to be done so that everything comes out in a professional way. So I think the board was pleased that we're getting the word out. And I know some of us, especially coordinators, are concerned that we want to make sure we get the word out so people show up. Dale and I, from what we're hearing from people in town as we make our rounds, I think all the events are going to be jam-packed. I really do. And we certainly want to promote the very first event. It's the take that people get when they show up at the first one. They say, gee, if everything's going to be like this, it's going to be fantastic. But it's a good gathering for families, and we're going to give Anne Marie and Amanda the opportunity to speak about that. The next item I'd like to talk about is the time capsule. I know that it's something that is going to be the topic of discussion at some point in time. Where do we have it? Where do we open up the 250th capsule, which is now placed in the Bank of Easton? Ken did some research on that. That's the one that we're going to be concentrating on. And when we open it, there's been some discussion and some suggestions that maybe what we should do is open it up at a select board's meeting. And it'll be televised on ECAT. People get a chance to see it. And I'm not sure, Craig, if we should ask the select board to do a separate meeting, because sometimes you have pretty hand-packed agendas. But we're going to be looking for your advice on that.
I think you should just make a request, and I will talk to Donnie from the chair about putting it on the agenda.
That's opening up the capsule, but we're going to be stuffing another capsule that some of us have been talking about, the possibility of putting the capsule together for our anniversary date, which is December 21st. However, we won't have the anniversary book completed by then, but we can also add things to the capsule at a later date before we put it in the vault and put it away until the 300th. I don't know about you folks, but my intention is to be at the 300th anniversary.
You go.
I don't think so.
You're here.
I'm not the 300, I meant the 350th. I'm sorry.
We're hoping you're going to make it for the year.
You're the chair, Dave.
I just want to know, is that something we should know about?
Any suggestions that you might have regarding the capsule?
I've actually got a question
Go ahead.
about the capsule. I'm not sure what we were thinking about the timing for it, and I understand that it's supposed to be done, I think, for the select board to open, but is there a possibility of doing, like, having the select board meet in a more public forum so more people could attend? Because it might be a nice thing, a way of sort of generating some excitement, especially if it's done earlier in the year, so just throw that out there for consideration. Because I personally think a lot of people would be interested to see what's in the time capsule, and maybe I'm wrong on that one.
When you say more public.
Not joking. I'm the only one to be interested in it. Okay.
Craig has a question?
I just was curious about where you were thinking would occur if it wasn't a select board meeting.
Well, if you did something, for example, like, you know, in the high school auditorium or in one of the other places that has a little more room for other people to join in. I could be wrong in this, but it just seems like it's a very interesting thing to do for people, especially those folks who are around, to see what, you know, what is being opened for it, and why not make it a more public event, you know, where people are actually attending in person.
My only concern is that if you have a big setting and nobody shows up, it clearly tells you something. So I would rather do it at the select board, but if the committee wants to do it in a place that's...
One thing we know for sure, it has to be opened in the presence of our select board. That's why I think we first started off with the possibility of doing it at a select board's meeting. But if there's a lot of people that feel differently, it's something for us to discuss. Tonight I bring it up before we approach the new year. I want to make sure that we're thinking about the time capsule, and that you're also thinking as committee members of what we could put in that capsule. When we open up the capsule, I think you're going to see things that are in there that we might want to consider repeating.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
So what meeting are you opening that at?
I'm not sure yet. That's something I have to have a conversation, because
Yeah,
we don't have another meeting scheduled until in January.
Because if you're fearful of it being a letdown in terms of turnout, but you open it, it'd be nice if at next event of ours we could have that stuff displayed at least. You know what I mean? Like, does it go to the historical society after that? Where does that stuff end up? Not the trash, I hope.
It's up to Ken. He said no, yes.
I didn't say anything. I'm just listening to see how much more trouble I'm going to be in. That's all. My recollection is, and I may be wrong on this, but I think there are instructions for storage after opening inside the capsule. I think. I'm not 100% certain, but I believe that's the case.
Oh, that's after you open it, you find out how to open it. Okay.
So,
What is this supposed to be?
I don't think we even have any discussion. Can I just want to add in something as well? So I understand it's supposed to be open in the presence of the select board, but we have all these signature events going on during the year. Why would we not want to market this thing as something kind of neat for people to see as part of? We have the select board present at whether it's the Flag Day or whether it's something else. I just think it's a very public thing and should be shared, you know, rather than just, you know, in the presence of a smaller meeting. But
on ECAT. On cable TV.
well, right, but people in person too.
Well, my only thought about that there is, if you know you're going to have, or at least you should have most, if not all, of the select board members at a meeting.
Right, but why can't we just have a select board come to one of the?
I understand what you're saying. That's exactly right.
Again, it's just an idea.
When I did this once before, even though we had a committee, the final decision was by the select board as to when it should be open and where. And then we make a strong recommendation and everybody agrees. Now, if there's a lot of discussion and a lot of different ideas, I would set up a subcommittee that would sit down and come to this committee and make a recommendation first, come up with a recommendation and have select board representation on the committee and see how the committee feels. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
And I'd like to ask Craig certainly to be on it, Dale, my vice chair, Ken, you've been doing some research on this. I'd like to have you participate. Is there anybody else that would like to join us?
I would.
Diane,
Yeah.
as the secretary. Anybody else? Those names will go in the minutes, so I don't forget anybody.
One more.
And you'd like to join us as a new member?
Sure.
Certainly.
Alexandra?
Yes.
Good enough. Let's move on to the next item. I'd like to mention to the committee that today I met with the CERT chair, Michelle Ferrara, at the fire station. She's a barrel of fun, and I'd like to suggest that she also be part of our committee. Her and her group, in case you're wondering what CERT means, it's Community Emergency Resource Training. It's a group that could provide some safety for all of our events, starting right with the very first one. Now, I know we've got 2 events at Stonehill College. We got 2 events at the high school complex. We got an event that'll take place there at Memorial Hall. We're going to be at the Governor Ames Estate for the block party, Dan. And I know that we need to have, in some cases, there'll be a booth that they'll put up, and they'll have people there that have training, be able to step up to the plate. They'll have radios, so there'll be communication. If, unfortunately, someone gets injured, whether it be the parade or any of our events, and I think that's terrific. So I'm suggesting not only do we have a CERT representative join us beginning in January, but we also provide a banner that will be in our 4th batch. I want to mention that to Courtney as well as Ken, that they certainly are providing their time and talent and medical coverage to provide support for us. Anybody have any issues with that?
Do we need to give them a table that already at the first event? Because we didn't know that.
Yeah.
We just finished our time.
She's going to be coming to the next meeting, which is going to be before your event, but I'm going to give you her telephone number.
No,
No, it's not. No, Dave.
This is it, Chris.
Oh, it's after, that's right. Let me touch base with you and Anne Marie.
Yeah, let us know.
I'll talk to her about
We
that.
just need to reach out to someone
Yeah.
to get more. We have to.
But I think
minutes and stuff.
all of us, at least some of the members that I've been hearing from, feel that we should have somebody who's handling the safety, just in case. And that's what they do. They not only have communication tools, but they'll have medical things to help someone out if, God forbid, something happens. Any other comments?
Are you looking at me for some reason on that one?
Does Stonehill need to be involved in that decision because they have their own police force? So I don't know whether it's a conflict to have a cert there.
They don't use the police though for, I mean,
Yes, we pay for, we're paying for
I mean,
security.
To answer
no,
your
what I'm saying
question,
is they would call for arrest, for an emergency, they use Easton's.
There should be that
Like
communication.
ambulance for ambulance, I'm talking about, not
You
police.
need to make sure that that's not going to be a problem. I think the bottom line is communication. You
Yeah,
really
you
need to
just
be
ask
sure.
Stonehill, that's separate to them.
they would be having their own police force on campus. But in terms of the medical
Right,
stuff,
medical
I'll work that out with Stonehill.
Yeah.
And I'll also talk to Michelle Ferraro. Okay?
Just as a clarification, CERT is not law enforcement, it's seconded to the fire department.
That's right. Medical.
Yeah,
Stonehill has their own police.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Security.
I also have a meeting set up with the police chief to take a look at the security plan, to see if we need to make any changes. If anybody from the event you might be involved in feels that you need to give some input, please either let Dale and myself know before we have that meeting. We're also going to be talking about shutting off certain roads by DPW for the parade. It may come up at other events, whether it be the block party or what have you. Those are important things, and that's got to be a priority. Rather than tie up the chiefs for a whole meeting here, we could sit down in an office and iron out some of those things. So I'll be in touch with you, Dale, on that. Okay, I'm going to ask Dale as the vice chair.
Dave?
Dave.
Yes,
I made contact with the Easton Police Department.
he told me.
And Phil Adams, the deputy chief, is going to be our liaison. I was talking mostly about the parade. So he is going to be at our January 6th meeting and probably from then on, so that he will be aware of what we're doing and we'll be aware of what his requirements are. But from what I understand, he's kind of going to be the liaison for
Yes.
the 300th in general.
But I wanted him to be at the parade committee meeting too. I think
Yeah.
that's important. Okay, go ahead, Dale.
So just a brief update on the community partnership program. Ken and I were on the phone earlier today, and Ken and the Historical Society are working on a series of open houses and related events for 2025. And once they finalize that calendar, they'll get it over to Sally. We'll get it onto our website. And I met with Ed Hands for almost 2 hours on Saturday morning, and quite excited about some of the ideas that he has. And he sent me an email about a page and a half. So he's fully on board for doing a series of tours, talks, that kind of thing, some of which we may have some need for using some of the transportation from Council on Aging, by way of example, doing a tour of cemeteries, things along those lines. We've talked about doing an Indigenous People Day at Wheaton Farm, where apparently there's a history of farming there for 1,000 years. He's got some fantastic ideas, very excited about it. And I'm really focusing my efforts now just on the historical pieces of it. And in addition, I've been on the phone with Justin LeWinter a few times recently. We're trying to move forward with planning for the Revolutionary War reenactment event at Borderland. We're tentatively thinking about April 27th, the day after the Arts Festival. And then also perhaps doing 2 other events at the Josiah Keith House, including possibly some type of a Founders Day event on the actual 300th anniversary, December 21st. And we are still working with the Interfaith Clergy Group and others about doing a ringing of the bells at that time. So that's been my focus on that, and I think Sally can talk whether now or later on calendar that I think we're still looking to try to, but before, you know, the new year, have posted on the website a list of the various events. Again, we're not trying to be all things to all people about every single event that every organization is doing, but focusing on the signature events and focusing on, you know, sort of the key community partnership events, and especially for those organizations who have reached out to us, and these types of historical things so they don't get lost in the mix. So that's my update.
Sally, why don't you go ahead and talk about the calendar if you have anything additional?
To add to that, I hope that we can get all the information that we need and get it out to the committee, a list of what we have for events, just to see if we have everything correct, and hopefully get the calendar updated this week.
Yeah, I expect I should have a list from Ed. What I charged him with was to provide me with all the different ideas we talked about, come up with a list of the activities and the dates that he's proposing, because he'd be taking the lead on doing that, and I'm sure Ed and Ken will be conferring as well. So I'm hoping to have that within a week, and then we'll distribute that to the committee. And I think it's just sort of by email to get feedback from folks, since we're not going to have another meeting, but we'd like to get everybody's feedback before we put those events online on the website.
Let's go to committee reports. I'm going to ask our secretary, Diane.
Same old. I checked the email, Easton 300.2025@gmail.com, and post the minutes, agendas, and that's P.O. Box. Oh, P.O. Box. Yeah, I go to P.O. Box every few days. Seems to be empty. Not getting a lot of checks these days. So basically, that's what I do. We're all set, and you've approved 2 months meeting minutes, so I'll post those. That's all.
Courtney Pupkin. We've been trying to thank you on many different occasions for your efforts in the fundraising. Certainly, it's one community that seemed to raise the funds very quickly. In other communities, all the events are planned and everybody worries about getting the funds to pay for the events. So we appreciate your efforts. Is there anything that you would like to add, whether it be for donations or for the banners?
I'll just give our current total, which is $384,800. Our goal was $365,000, so we're over by $19,800 right now.
And that's without some other donations that we're expecting or hoping for.
Good job.
Excellent.
Yeah, you did a really good job.
Okay. Thank you.
Good job. And thanks to my
cohort.
Well, I don't know, poor things, what I would call them, but to Ken and Dave for also all your help with fundraising. I did not do it alone.
Nice job.
Okay.
Nice job.
What have I done?
Next report, Mike Good.
Not much to report. In terms of, I know the first event, and we've talked about the promotion of the events in sequence coming up. What I can tell you is we have 735 people that have responded as interested to our event on Facebook. 35 is yes, so there's awareness. We'll put another message in the town crier this weekend, next week. I'll confirm that there is one going out the week of Christmas. I need to pick up some flyers, put in businesses, but beyond that, same old, same old. We're just...
Any questions any committee members have? Go ahead.
Yeah, the select board meeting last night, if I understood correctly, I think they indicated that Langwater Farm is doing some type of an event on December 21st, some type of like holiday craft thing or something along those lines, because I think they were getting a license there. And just for whoever has contacts with the folks at Langwater, if they're able to take some flyers and put up any of our posters for the kickoff event, since it's going to be just before. I don't think we want.
I think it's Karen that has that contact.
Karen and Tom.
Their son is getting married on the 20th, so I don't think she'll have time.
I can do it on the 25th.
So maybe Ken can
I've got
follow.
about
folders and flyers.
Yeah, we have some of these larger size flyers. It'd be nice if there are a lot of people coming in. It's a week and a half or whatever before your event, and it'd be nice, to get the word out there, because those are the kind of folks who are interested in coming out for an event like that, right?
I don't think it needs to be like a hard sell. I can just take them and go over.
Mike is suggesting that he can go over.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think just, getting the posters over there, maybe some of the flyers we have.
Well, I can get the flyers and the trifolds over there.
Okay, so yeah, you guys can coordinate there.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he can bring some, they'll have more than they need, that's all.
There you go.
Okay, anything else, Mike?
No, if there's anything else that, or the only other thing that's kind of pending, and I know there's emails flying back and forth, is just the online store, and when we can communicate that, if it's finalized, or like if the link will work, that's like the only pending thing. And then the community calendar, once that's finalized, we want to install that on the website, so that's also information folks can get.
I have a couple of things. One is, before we have each event, is there a plan to do what you can to market the event? I know the second event's going to be the Agricultural Festival in April. Certainly we got time for it. But between sending out flyers and doing what we can to promote the celebration, I assume you're leaving.
Yeah, I had over the planning and zoning, sorry.
Okay. That's right, you mentioned that. Thank you, Dan.
Dave, I have a question about
Go ahead.
Is it possible to make Facebook event pages, if you will, for each event? And if not, or if that's, I also want to know if I'm able to be added as like a Facebook admin so I can help with the promotion.
Is that something that the committee would like to see happen? Or do we already have someone doing that?
Yeah, we have so you want to create a Facebook page for each event?
No, it would just be an event, and it would be connected to that. It would stem from that page, and you would create an event to be linked to that page.
So like this, like the one we have for the Easton 300 kickoff?
Yes.
Okay.
Where has that been posted? I haven't seen it too.
It's shared through over 800 people, or almost 800 people have seen it. So it's shared through, if you're connected to the page, it's shared through the everything Easton, off the Instagram.
Okay, but
I don't have access to that.
That's why I'm saying that we need it. I think it would be helpful if we had an additional admin on the page, because you don't have access to 8,000 women that I have access to.
Amanda and Anne-Marie, didn't you just get access to that, to do that?
We had asked for access.
You still have that?
Access to, I don't understand.
We need to be.
I think, in my opinion, I think if Courtney can be added as an admin, I think that would help to get, because Courtney is the one that has the admin access to the
Easton Moms.
group. And I think that's a huge, we're, Emery and I are, we're members of that group too, but if you're the admin person, I think that's even better.
It is.
In my opinion.
And I think probably we all think about sharing it too. When Mike posts it, then we share it to Easton Moms.
Well, right, but I haven't even seen that posted, and I'm on it when it comes to Facebook or Instagram. So, but I haven't seen it, so that's not a good sign.
Right.
Just for us, I'm just saying, I'm just laying it down there, because we do want these, especially for my sponsors. I want to make sure that these events are well attended, that they get credit, etc. And I don't have any control right now of that. But if I was allowed admin access, I wouldn't be creating anything. I would just be sharing from there.
That could add to.
My understanding is the event can be shared even if you're not an admin. I don't know from the other standpoint, though. You mentioned something about sponsors, and that's where I think that it's a little bit key that you have a little more control there to be able to add things or promote things or post things, because I think that's a great way to tap into, one, the goodwill of those people that have sponsored, and two, each of those people that have sponsored businesses, community, groups, when you thank them and you tag them, that post then is pushed to like all of their followers and all the people that interact with their pages. So I think that's a great idea if you are able to, like, even in the lead up to it, when you do the promotional, like, hey, check out this cool event and don't forget thank you from these people and whatever, like I'm sure you would be doing. It'd be a good way to get
I typically
more eyes
do.
on it.
Yeah, I typically do when I'm managing the page, but I'm not yet.
Yeah, you are right on top of it, Courtney, and I think that that is a great idea, because we really literally not have the marketing that we should for the first event, so, and we've been asking.
I don't think we have to call for a motion. All those in favor of this, raise your right hand.
Do I get to vote too?
Excuse me, let me ask one question. I think what we're talking about here is the fact that there's going to be flyers for each event.
Right.
There's going to be a flyer for each event. So that those flyers should be posted in every conceivable way to get to the general public. And I think that since each of those flyers are going to be done on a regular basis prior to the event, that that's the way it should be done. However you want to get out to whatever groups and all the groups possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mel.
Is there a list of places?
Yes,
Like that, they all go to Shaw's, they all go to the savings bank, the other banks.
I think what you guys are talking about is significantly separate from what
No,
Courtney's
I'm talking about online. I'm talking about social media.
Yeah, social
That's
media.
what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about going to the supermarket.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, okay.
So I think that
There's
you
the
two
disconnect,
were
but
talking
yeah.
Mel's got another suggestion. Okay, let's, I think everybody seems to be in favor of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody
I'll
opposed?
hit it hard.
Okay,
Like I do.
let's do it.
Andy does it.
Thank you.
So the
Okay,
bottom,
Courtney?
I will
David,
be added as
so
an admin.
we
Yeah.
voted to allow, to have Courtney
I just gotta
Pupkin
find my password.
added as an admin.
On
On-
the Facebook,
What is that the celebration
Social media.
page?
yes,
Is it
the
Easton?
Facebook.
Is it called, what's it called?
He just has to make you an admin, that's what he has to
I'm
do.
doing
Yeah.
it right now. I'm just
Good
trying
job.
to reset my password, that's all. Consider it done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Especially also because the Easton moms, just thanks all the Easton moms because they were very helpful in helping us reach our goal. So
Yes,
they were part of that. So because I was posting on there about the Tricentennial, so it will be nice to invite them.
Terrific.
Good job.
Okay, the next item of business, Ken, anything you got to say about the business or history part of?
Well, I guess I could talk a little bit about the couple of things. One, the pole banners, which is that we, right now, and some of you may have one more that I don't know about, but we have 154 pole banners that are going to be hung on the utility poles from Five Corners all the way down Center Street and all the way up Main Street from roughly Route 138. The pole banners for Main Street, many in Five Corners and many on Center Street have been assigned a utility pole number already. The first two batches of pole banners, printed pole banners, have been delivered to the DPW. The third batch is currently being printed, will be delivered to the DPW, I believe, on Friday of this week. And when I spoke to Mr. Fields last week, he indicated that they'd start putting them up as soon as that third batch was in. Those pole banners have generated roughly $41,000 worth of revenue. So when Courtney was talking a little earlier about the fact that we exceeded our goals, that's inclusive of the pole banners and the donations. And absolutely on the number that I had, $19,800 is over goal at this point in time. So those are pretty much what's been going on. I've been recently dropping off flyers for the kickoff event and trifolds to various businesses. I still have some of it to do. That's why I said I'll be running one on the 20th, which is this coming Friday. And I'll drop off a bunch. Mike, I'll need to coordinate with you just to make sure we have enough on both sides. So that's my report at the moment.
Well, that's a good report. I know that when we talked in the past about coming up with a fundraiser, that was a fundraiser that really worked with these banners. And from my experience, once these banners go up, the phone's going to ring. And Ken and I have been talking about the possibility of a fourth batch of banners that we can send off to
I've talked to the
DPW.
budget about that already.
So I think it's terrific news. They're going to be up for a year. As some people have said to me, it's the best $300 I could spend in terms of advertising and supporting the town in its celebration. So that's absolutely terrific.
Well, excuse me, will any of the banners be on Elm Street
No.
with town offices?
No.
Again, they're going to go on Main Street. They'll be on Center Street, and they'll be at 5 corners. 106 going both ways. There's going to be some empty spots that we can fill at a later date. And those banners will go back to the people that donated. At the end of it, I don't know what kind of condition they'll be in, but go ahead, Ken.
Just to make a point, Jack, it's primarily along the parade route. That's why they've been set up that way.
Okay, the next item of the agenda will be our kickoff event. It's the first event. Anne Marie and Amanda, I know we've talked about things in the past, but maybe if you could give another bird's eye view to the committee. You also have 12 volunteers that have been assigned to work your event. You wanted 10, I gave you 12.
Because Courtney was not on that list, so I had to be out with her. But we have a floor plan here, and if you are going to be there, you can come look at it afterwards. But the orange flags here are just kind of where we're thinking we need to put some volunteers, and of course we'll have some floaters as well. Courtney will be our best floater, I think, selling merch and all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, so we have some food that's being catered by Stonehill that will be for purchase. We have a beer garden that's done by Shoveltown that will be also for purchase. Everything else here is free. Of course, entrance is free. We do have a couple of vendors that are coming, and we have a toe jam puppet band for the kids. We have an inflatable axe throwing. We have a toddler ball pit. We have an inflatable obstacle course. We have an indoor roller rink. And we'll have a photo booth in the front lobby. We'll have a coat check area. Not so much coat check, more of a hang your coat. We'll have a timeline that Casey's finishing up. Ken, you know, you will have a volunteer from the Historical Society that will be able to answer any historical questions that day.
Nobody at the Historical Society knows the answers to any historical questions.
Well, then I don't want them. I don't know if there's anybody that
well,
has some fun
there'll be
stuff
somebody.
that they want to, yeah, it's, you know, again, it's only 4 hours, so hopefully that helps. That's all, it's only 4 hours. And we have a little photo booth with some curious dress that people can stand behind. I did order a banner. It's called Step and Repeat banner. You can use it all year long. So it says Easton 300 and the logo kind of staggered. It's a big backdrop, and it's 8 feet tall by 10 feet wide. So we can put lots of people in front of it. And we are going to use it at the gala. We're going to use it at this event, and then anybody else, any other events, use it. So I'll probably just keep it in the merch room at my house, and the merch room, and we'll.
Metal supports.
Yes.
Already.
Yep. I ordered it with the support so that I didn't have to figure it out.
What size is it?
It's 8 feet tall by 10 feet wide.
Wow.
So it's big. Yeah. So it should be really easy to set up. It's not here yet. It'll be here next week. So I think it's supposed to be here on Monday. So I'll send a picture when I get it. It should look really good. It's going to go in the front lobby area. And we'll have a big merchandise booth. I think we have like 6 merchandise volunteers, so thank you guys for anybody that's going to do that. We have 4 here that we put out, but we'll definitely use all the help we can get. And that's pretty much it. There was one question we had from our last meeting with Stonehill. Are we gonna give any like little food coupons to any of the volunteers that are coming to work for the day? Like they can get, it's
It's a simple menu.
It's a very
Hot
easy
dog,
menu.
popcorn, nachos, so we can go
Yeah.
for volunteers. If we could provide them with coupons to eat, and then it's gonna be there pretty much all day, 2 hours before, we begin, and then they'll tally up and bill us at the end, but we need to vote on that.
Yeah, so we wanted to see what the group thought of
Makes
that.
sense.
Let's vote on that now. I mean, I see that as standard procedure. People are gonna be there all day working with you. I strongly recommend it. We can find a way to do that. Do you need a motion for
Yeah.
that? Okay, let's call for motion.
I'll make a motion.
Diane?
Make a motion that we give food coupons to all volunteers the day of the kickoff.
Second.
Do you want to set?
We have a second by Ken.
There was a suggestion.
Yeah, and I'm just
I'm sorry, go
asking if we want to set a limit.
Nah.
I would
Dollar
make,
limit
I'll
per
like make
person.
actual coupons, like, we'll
Okay.
hand out like a physical, yeah, that way someone else can keep track. Do we want to say, does everybody get 2? That's what you're asking? Like,
No, I'm just,
quantity, or-
is somebody just gonna keep going back and getting nachos? and
I-
getting
Oh,
a
yeah, no,
Philadelphia?
I'll.
Like Ken.
Yeah, Ken definitely.
I think everybody's
Coupon.
honest.
Yeah, so maybe we give 2 per person or something, we come up with whatever it is, they get a drink and they can get, food items, at their leisure, but, yeah.
Those are for
no.
the workers.
Yeah,
Yeah, good idea.
Okay.
Okay, well, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion is carried.
Very good.
Okay. The next item on the agenda, anything else that you have, Amanda and Anne Marie?
The volunteers, I will be emailing, I've already emailed all the vendors. You have to go through the Belmont Street entrance to security, and they'll guide you to where, and you know where it is, but where the building is, they'll guide the volunteers, and they can park in the back of the building. So I'll send an email to all the volunteers with setup times and entrance requirements and all that, soon.
Just in case there is weather, snow, which we're not expecting, but we're gonna keep an eye out. We gotta say it, I know, gotta say it. The event will be snow date the following week, the 11th, so
Oh,
just have to say it in case.
That's on the schedule.
I did buy a snow blower, so hopefully there isn't any snow. Since we bought it, there hasn't been any snow, so let's hope that continues.
Oh, that's
Buy
a
another
big
one.
driveway.
Oh, yeah, I think I might buy a generator, so.
That's a big driveway to do. Dave, I have one thing on that.
Go ahead, Diane.
I have the Shoveltown flag, and Mike and I were talking, we're gonna start raffling it off that day and pull the ticket in April.
Yeah, I thought that's what we agreed. So we were gonna sell tickets at that event.
The kickoff
At
and
kickoff.
the arts festival, and then pull the thing at the
Yeah.
end of that.
Because that gives you 2 events.
Do you need a separate table, or are you gonna sell them at the merchandise booth?
You just do it at the merchandise booth.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Can we
keep it.
maybe get a printed picture of it, unless you're gonna physically bring it?
I can.
Well, we'll have it there. It's gonna be there.
Oh, it'll be there,
Okay,
it'll be
okay.
there on display,
Perfect,
yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah.
And then,
I won't be there.
and then are you gonna bring a physical raffle ticket?
I have like a whole,
Roll.
I have, for
Okay.
company events, I have a lot of, yeah.
Okay.
So that I have.
If you need anything from us on that, just let me know.
No, the only thing we need to, I don't think we, how much do you want to sell? I think we kind of went around and around on
I
that.
think $5.
Per ticket?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 2 events. We should get enough, wouldn't you think? Make it reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's fine, 5 per ticket. Okay.
Okay. I would like to.
Sorry,
It's a starting
one more
point.
question.
Go ahead.
Mike, are you wanting to sell those cash only or credit card too? Because I can put it in the POS, I just need to know.
That's up to you, Mike.
I'd like to do cash only, but now I know that I don't
People-
carry cash.
Right,
So
right.
probably wouldn't be the worst idea to have it added.
Okay, so why don't you email me the details of it,
Sure.
like how much you want each ticket to sell for, if you're doing a package, sell like they're $5 a piece, and then five gallons, whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever
you
the
do.
prices are, just let me know, and I'll put it in the
$5 for
POS,
one.
that way it's there,
Yep.
and then
Three
it
for
can be
10.
used.
Yeah,
Or
whatever he does.
it's we'll do that.
Yeah,
And then if you want
appreciate
on the website, same thing, just send a picture.
Yeah,
and-
it'll we'll hash out the 5, 7 for whatever, all the splits.
Okay.
And then once we have that ironed out, I'll give you that, and then we can also put it on our page, on our Facebook as well, and Instagram and all that. And then, like I said, the day of, the actual thing will be, the flag will be there, so we don't need any printouts. Just kind of keep it as like a small side event, to distract from your event, so, perfect.
That's it, Amanda
Mike, I'll
and
give
Marie?
that to you
All set.
somehow.
Okay.
I'm leaving. I'll give it to you.
Probably don't have to say this, but even though Amanda and Anne Marie have volunteers assigned to work, I encourage all of our committee members, those that are here tonight, as well as those that couldn't make it, to try to attend as many of these events as you can. We have 8 signature events on 7 different days scattered throughout the year. We have another 5 events. They're partnership events. Go to as many of these events as you can with your families. That should be a guaranteed crowd. You've been involved in the planning of the celebration. Certainly, I would hate to think that someone who's worked all year and attended 50 meetings, that you didn't show up at half of the events. I think it's important. And not only that, but Anne Marie and Amanda could call on you if for some reason a volunteer had to leave. There's always things we can do. So let's all work together on the celebration and enjoy it with our families. The next item on the agenda is the Easton 300 Art and Cultural Festival. I know that Joan and Diane have been working with the committee to plan it. There's a lot of artists in town. What can you tell us about the celebration scheduled for April 26th?
April 26th. It will be right here at Oak Ames Memorial Hall. We hope to have 40 to 45 artists on display their work, to sell their work. The call to artists has been written. I'm going to have Casey juice it up a little bit more. I want to do a little more research on where it's going to go to electronically. There will be rack cards. There'll be 8.5 by 11-inch posters through town. So that's the initial phase of it. The music is all set. We have winnowed down a list of area restaurants and establishments that we're going to get food from to give out to the public for free. Shoveltown will be providing beer and wine on the premises. All of the artists will be asked to bring their own 6-foot tables, and we will provide tablecloths for uniformity and black. I think those have been ordered. If not, they'll be ordered soon.
Not yet.
And we'll have more concrete after the holidays, but we're on track.
Any questions? Anything you want to add, Diane?
No, thank you.
The music, I need to have a
Oh, I know,
contact.
you need the facilities form for this building as well as the music, not for that day, but the music for the 2 other events with a signature line for town council and Wendy Knight.
Has to be signed off by the town administrator and the finance director as well as town council.
Yep.
Okay. The next item on the agenda, Easton 300 flag ceremony, the town picnic, the concert, and of course the fireworks. It happens to be on Flag Day, June 14th. I have been in touch with all the coordinators. Ken, you've been in touch with Jessica. Anything you can say about the picnic?
I can give you a general overview of the entire thing if you want.
Yeah.
Basically, the event's going to take place at the high school. So the picnic, the concert, and the fireworks are all going to occur in the same spot. The flag ceremony, which is going to occur right after the beginning of the opening, if you will, is being coordinated by Adam Gunn.
Yep.
And he's been working on that, met with him yesterday, met with Jessica. She's planning games and events of various kinds, very similar to what you have on the kickoff event. The one issue that seems to be up in the air at the moment is the food trucks, because the food trucks need to be certified in order to operate within the town, and it's not until April, evidently, that those certifications are going to be happening. I guess there's an overall program of certifying food trucks for a number of the towns around, and that's happening around the middle of April. So those trucks can't be lined up yet, and probably won't be able to be lined up until sometime around mid-April. Joan's handling the concert side of things, and the fireworks seem to be in place, and the fire chief, Alexander, is taking care of that. So it seems to be moving along, not yet complete, but with a few open spaces, so to speak, but it's well on its way.
I know, speaking to Adam Gunn, he has made arrangements for a 42-piece band from the South Shore that will be playing at the flag ceremony. There'll also be a flyover to salute the veterans and to salute the community for their 300th anniversary. Yes.
He didn't seem to be certain of the flyover, so that's why I didn't mention it. So
My last contact with him, it looks good.
All right. So
but
it's not.
We are at the beckoning call. If there is an emergency that comes up,
right,
and it happens at the same time, we could be affected, and I understand that.
Okay.
It's the same thing with emergency vehicles in the town of Easton. If something comes up prior to the parade, then they can't be there. We understand. We also have 2 large special flags that will be handled, and we're hoping that the Lions Club can be there that day, Rob.
Yeah, we'll have one of them, Lions and Boy Scouts for one, and I heard that there was another group that was going to handle the second one.
Veterans.
Yeah.
Veterans and families are going to handle the second flag.
There's going to be a tent set up on the high school grounds for the veterans.
It takes about 40 to hold the flag, so we're guaranteed 80 people right off the bat before we even sell the popcorn. The fact is that what a great day that's going to be on Flag Day. Not only do we get that chance, and I say to the people that are viewing this meeting, you get a chance to salute the red, white, and blue, the American flag. You get a chance to honor the veterans here in the town of Easton. That flag ceremony starts at 4. It ends at 5. Their concert's 4 to 5:30. We have a band concert from 7 to 9. The band's going to play a little longer so that we have music when the fireworks go to the sky. We have the town picnic that will take place. The only thing we haven't ironed out yet with Jessica, the coordinator, is the food. Is it bring your own picnic, bring your own chair, your blanket, or is it get food off the truck? Do we just do free dessert, that kind of thing?
The concept on that, essentially with regard to the food trucks, is that if one of the vendors, the food truck vendors, can be agreeable to it, there would be some sort of a guaranteed payment to that vendor, and that vendor would theoretically anyway be handing out desserts, let's say ice cream, whatever the case may be, to the participants there, so at no charge to them.
Thank you, Ken, for staying on top of that. Let's go to the next item, Easton 300 Parade Update. The Parade Committee has decided to meet twice a month beginning in January. And I think that's important because they got a lot of things happening. They not only have to get contracts signed by the town as well, but between trying to organize floats, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, motorcycles, antique cars, classic cars, horses, Right now, I think they got, how many, Roz? 5 bands?
6 bands.
6 bands. They got the colors. The fire chief is going to send out 30 letters to fire departments with a copy of our schedule for all the area chiefs. This is a parade that it's going to be a large parade. We're going to probably take a quarter of Center Street just to line up. There may be so many people in the parade, I'm hoping there's going to be people watching this parade. But that's a good thing. Go ahead, Mel.
I've made arrangements at the Y that they're reserving their north parking lot, which is the lot just off of Elm Street, that we can use that day for buses. My thought is that when people come up to the monument and offload the buses, if the buses come down and park in that lot, then when the people are through with the parade, the buses are down where they need to be to load them back up again. So I've got that entire parking lot, probably put 6, 8, 10 buses in there. Okay.
And we're going to be utilizing some of the local buses. Ken Wood's handling the buses. He's already met with Southeast Regional, the Council on Aging, to use their bus to take people from the end of the parade back to where their vehicles are. And of course, those things have to still be ironed out by the parade committee.
I was going
Something
to
you want to add?
say, I spoke to the people at the Council on Aging, and they're prepared. They're aware that, you know, they'll be asked to use their buses, taking people back and forth. I was also thinking the possibility of like golf carts or those four-wheelers to get people just to go back and forth. You know, I need to go up, okay, you're down there. That's something we'd have to work out with the police also.
Correct. The buses are going to be free. We have to pay the drivers. And that's not something that we weren't aware of. That's going to have to be part of our budget. Roz, do you have anything you want to add regarding the parade?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah.
We did not meet this month. But so far, we've got all the bands lined up. We've got several things going on. And the lineup is going to be huge. So we have to work out the logistics.
Yes.
In looking at it myself, Al Provost took me down Porter Street, and people are going to line up there. I think that we're going to have like satellite, like Shaw's parking lot. Church Street. Church Street is a fairly unpopulated street. People could line up down there without bothering the neighbors as much as they would down Porter Street. Some of them, you know, if it's a vehicle that's going to be used in the parade, we could probably do like Shaw's, the East Industrial Park, have people spread out like that. Dunkin'
Those
Donuts.
are details, Mel, that I prefer to discuss at the parade committee meeting, because we got a long agenda.
Oh, yeah.
And I thank you for your input and for getting involved in the parade committee. The next item on the agenda is merchandise sales. Anything, Amanda and Anne Marie, you'd like to mention?
We'll be selling merchandise at the kickoff event. I think we'll be really good at that event. And,
Can you speak up just a little louder? Yeah.
the next event we'll be selling merchandise at is the kickoff on January 4th. So, and I believe the online store will be going.
It's very quick, the links on the page. Just haven't put in the top menu button yet on the website, because we want to make sure that everything matches the stuff that's
Yeah, I'll
in
have that done tomorrow. I'll make sure it's all there. The only other item that I had on it is Ken and I chatted about, we're getting orange volunteer t-shirt. So Ken, you need a vote on something? So we're using Pop Tops right in town over in the industrial park, and they need a credit card I don't know if it's 50%, it's 50%.
That's what you told me.
Yeah, I don't know, I just forwarded them on, I think. So yeah, so they need a 50% credit card. Ken graciously offered to do that, but we do need a vote.
Ken was beaten up twice.
Yeah.
And then became very gracious,
Yeah.
because you know I wasn't gracious before.
I know you.
So anyways, what we would like is the committee to vote to approve this process before, and I don't know, Ken, if you have additional details, but I don't know.
No, that's.
How much are the shirts and how many do you need?
I'm ordering 150 shirts. It's for the whole year. It's not just for one event. It's for all volunteers, for all the events. They're like a fluorescent, bright orange with the logo on the front in black, and on the back it just says volunteer in black. So it's very clear who's doing what. They're just short sleeve t-shirts. If it's winter, you can wear something underneath it or whatever. If you give me a minute, I can pull up the email.
It sounds like a lot.
With the amount.
While you're thinking about that, and one, maybe Anne Marie, you can answer this question. How much money have we actually taken in regarding merchandise?
Merchandise to date, I believe, last week, when I said it was $10,500 and some odd dollars to date.
And that money goes into the account, and most likely gets reused to purchase new merchandise.
And that's actually before we hit any of the signature events, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
We're
just
happy
out of
with
it.
that, so.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Amanda, you have that answer?
Yep, the total is $1,337.50. It's 150 t-shirts, orange, and in various sizes from small to extra, extra large. And the small to extra large are $8.50 a piece, and then the extra, extra large are $11 a piece. So those are what we are going to order in terms of sizing.
So you're looking for a motion?
I am pleased.
Why don't you read?
Question, 150 sounds like a lot.
It's for all volunteers for the whole year.
How many do you have at your event volunteering?
Oh, I don't know yet, but probably 25. I mean, there's 20 of us in this room right now. We would all get one.
Okay.
The 150 sounds pretty reasonable. It'll
Does
be
it?
quick. Yeah.
I have a question. Where were you going to get the t-shirts from?
Pop Tops.
Oh, we're not going to go, don't we usually go through Red Ball?
Yep, Pop Tops is wanting to do
They reached out to
reached out to us
They're
to,
local.
instead of giving a monetary donation.
A gift in kind.
They want to give us shirts at a better price.
Okay.
Yes,
I was
that's-
just curious why we were going
So-
somewhere.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
mean, Red Ball's done great for us, but this is a company in town that wanted to be part of the
Okay.
celebration as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, do we have a motion? Motion by
Wait a
Mike
second.
Good.
Before you make a motion, you ought to know what you're motioning on. The motion
Trust
is,
that-
the motion is to approve, no, two things. The motion is to approve the purchase of the t-shirts. And the second one is to approve the down payment on the t-shirts.
Oh,
I'm going to
Okay.
change my motion.
That makes sense. He withdraws his motion.
yeah.
Bring it back.
$1,337 to order 150 t-shirts, and Ken Michael's credit card will pay the down payment for 15% of that.
About 66.
Do we have a second? We have a second by Mike Good. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Who was the second?
Those opposed?
Mike Good was the second.
You were the
Mike.
you were the
He
first?
pulled that off. It's Ken Michael.
Joe made the motion,
Hey,
second by
Jackie,
Mike
rescind
Good. Okay,
It's all over the time capsule, so don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
okay.
Dave?
Invoices, do you have any invoices that,
I sent one to Jeanette, yes, and she said somebody else was gonna
Yeah.
discuss it.
go ahead, Diane.
Okay, Jeanette sent an email to approve Red Ball promotion invoices. $7,451.75 for knit caps, twill caps, sweatshirts, and aprons. $3,131.47 for tote bags. $602.72 for ceramic mugs. $5,207.08 executive glasses, Pee-wee footballs, laying down tiger, bottle opener, 6-foot standard throw. $5,191.82 for mini gift totes and shopper totes. And then $1,051.74 for wine openers.
What were they?
I don't know. That's what's on the list.
What were the wine openers?
Those are for the New Year's.
Corkscrews? Oh, I wonder if, yeah, no, that shouldn't be in there.
We did not approve that, no.
That shouldn't be in there.
Okay.
Yeah, so just take that off.
Eliminate
What
the-
is the total you have?
1,050.
No, for everything, because you had a bunch of.
Well,
The grand total.
I'm not done yet. And then $349.56 reimbursement to Amanda for logo backdrop for the photo ops and kickoff event and gala. I don't have it, I didn't total it, but those are the individual amounts.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay.
My,
Secretary's
my
getting the
fingers
total.
aren't really quick, so you have to
And
bear
so
with me.
the wine openers are not 1,051.70.
Yeah, take that out.
Take that off, okay. Yeah.
I'll send that as a.
So
See red box.
are they I don't know, are they Tricentennial wine?
Yeah, just
But just take it
out
off?
of there. You don't need
Okay.
it in that total,
Okay, good,
period.
okay.
And the backdrop we're going to add in there?
Yeah,
as well?
349.56.
Total is $21,934.40.
$21,934.40.
So is there an invoice for all these, or the treasurer has the invoice?
She does. Jeanette has the invoice. She did say that we're way over budget on merchandise. I think we had approved, I think she said we approved, I'm reading my email, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We've spent.
All right, so we have a motion to approve invoices. I'll make a motion to approve invoices totaling $21,934.40.
Second.
The second by Ken, motion was made by Diane.
Yeah.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion is carried.
The only thing Jeanette didn't mention, she said we're way over budget on merchandise. So-
Our total cost was $22,618, so I don't know what we're over budget on.
Well, she said we approved a budget of $24,300, and to date we have spent $39,854. $39,854, with the difference of $15,554. Now, she doesn't know if some of that is shipping or what, but that's what Jeanette stated.
Yeah, I'll reach out to her, because that's
Would you?
definitely not accurate.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no.
Well, I mean, I'm just, this is
Yeah.
her report. This is her
I know.
report.
I'm just saying, I'll get with her, make sure that everything,
Okay.
that she didn't get maybe double, because some of what you read off,
Yeah.
those items were ones that I submitted
Previously.
in like June.
Yeah.
So I wonder if she's duplicating some of those,
I mean,
not on purpose, but maybe
Yes, it could
thinking they
be.
were a new invoice, so
I don't
I'll
know.
touch base with her after the
Yeah.
holidays.
I'm just reading her report.
Yeah, no, I only.
Okay, so-
Red Ball's
Has
giving them.
not been paid, even though the invoice was submitted, so that's what it looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
She's thinking those are new invoices, but they were submitted way back.
Okay.
And Brian said they have not been paid, so.
Well, that's the town. The
No, but I
town
don't
is-
think they were all approved, yeah, and they know that the town, that it takes some time.
They have all been approved, so.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, let's
Figure
start.
it out.
Yeah.
It's approved.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay, so we move on in the agenda. Buses, Ken's not here. Item number 12 on the agenda, New Year's Eve toast. I know that both Dale and myself have felt that we have the opportunity to attend that New Year's Eve function. And we wanted to do a toast, and we wanted to promote all the events. Even though this New Year's Eve event is separate from all of our events. And Dale and I thought it would be a good idea to provide the toast glasses and to give a toast to the year and to promote all the events. Go ahead, Ken.
Question, which New Year's Eve event are we talking about, 24 or 25?
The Steve and the Night Naked.
24.
Yeah, if I can.
Oh,
I have it
sorry,
right
John,
here.
go, sorry.
It's, maybe you can tell us about the
Yeah.
event.
New Year's Eve this year at Oaks Ames Hall, we're kind of calling it a pregame because the next day obviously is January 1 of the year 2025 for our Tricentennial. We are having an event here, a ticketed event, which includes appetizers, it includes a band, and just a great party on New Year's Eve. So I had talked to Dave and to Dale, and they're going to be on the stage, they're going to introduce it, tell people about the year that's coming up, and we're going to do a toast. We're going to supply the bubbly, and we're going to have a glass at everyone's table. And for anyone who's interested, tickets are going fast, there's not many left. But I have the invoice here, and the total dollar amount is $631.22. I'll give you that, Dave.
What is that for?
That's for the toast, for the glasses with the Tricentennial label on it that we were just talking about.
How many
Dale felt
glasses?
that would be a good thing for us to do is to,
180 glasses.
that would be our participation.
Yep.
They would be giving us the opportunity to promote all the events to kick off the celebration. A lot of communities that celebrate their anniversaries usually have something on New Year's Eve. And although we're not sponsoring it totally, that would be our way of participating. So, do we have a motion?
So you need to give that to, is that the invoice that needs to go over?
Yes.
It is. Once it's approved, yeah, then it needs to get to Jeanette.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Ken. Do we have a second?
Well, I guess I can't second it.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Courtney.
We have a second.
I was getting a little nervous.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the motion is carried.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda, partnership events. I think everybody is familiar with the Family Fun Day. This was something that Dale was going to speak on. You got the date, the time, the place. We have Vertec Corporation going to be the sponsor. The car show sponsor is going to be Silco. They're the new Volkswagen dealership in town. And then we have the Easton 300 bike race. And of course, Jack Mowat just passed out a flyer. Go ahead, Jack.
Yes. Okay. The word sponsor is go
Who?
The word sponsor is spoken.
It's okay, Jack.
Sorry.
You can fix it. Next one. That's great.
Well, yeah, I had spoken to John, who's the promoter, and last Saturday, his team came to the race course and to check out the parking and also to decide which way to run the race. And they decided to go counterclockwise because the other way, it would be going downhill, which the riders would be going too fast to take the corner.
Yeah.
So now they're going to be going counterclockwise. That's all I have. John's working on the categories of the race versus novice. And it runs down 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 and 1 are professional.
And Jack, you have permission from the school department.
Yes.
And you also have talked to the police department. And of course, it's on school property anyways. No streets have to be blocked off.
No, just Columbus Avenue.
So we'll need permit, we'll need a street closure permit.
Yeah, the permit, I'm about half done.
Okay.
You're going to have to go before the board to get permission.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could probably bring your promoter.
Oh, sure.
So he can describe the whole thing.
Will do.
Well, thank you for using our logo, and certainly, what about volunteers?
The volunteers, John, the promoter, he's got 25 members in his, it's a Swansea Bellow Club, and they'll be taking care of the marshalling and mostly the security on the course to keep, any spectators or cars that may sneak in. And we've got 3 locations for where we need police. So that should be, it's a closed off course, so, and it's run on a Sunday, so there's, less activity, but we should have a very good turnout.
Any questions you folks would like to ask Jack? It certainly sounds like another exciting event.
The USA Cycling, they put out a whole list of flight events that people like to race through the whole year. So this race will be on their list. And when I held the race last 25 years ago downtown, we had people from all over the world. We had a person from Spain and Italy, and also Ireland.
Do you have additional flyers, Jack, that...
I do. One question, is there any, I don't know if there's any funds to help with the making of the flyers? Is that something that comes off of the club, the bike club?
Yeah. Why don't we talk after the meeting and give me an idea of what we're talking about, and I'll present it to the committee.
I have one other question, that this regards to after the year is over, and any extra fund, does it get donated to such as Dana-Farber or some other cause?
That hasn't been discussed by the committee yet, but we certainly have a long ways to go yet before we know. Yes.
Jack, any excess funds at this point in time are basically earmarked for a gift to the town.
Oh.
So, and then it just depends on what the cost of the gift is. If it's something like that, we'll talk about that.
There it goes.
Ken is right about that, but let's discuss it anyways, Jack, and at least we'll be aware of what you have in mind. But we hope that we have access funds so that we can do something special for the community, that we can long remember this celebration. And it's happening in other towns, and I have confidence that it'll happen here in Easton as well. Okay, Jack, thank you. The next item, I'd like to go to the president of our Lions Club, Rob. I know Dale's been talking about your participation in the celebration. Things have come up like helping on Flag Day, helping with the bonfire by doing a barbecue that would be open to the residents of the community. And of course, we'd have a concert that night as well. And that's scheduled for September 6th. And then you folks have been talking about the possibility of promoting the history of the town. So I'll give you the floor.
Yeah, so every year since, well, with being disrupted by COVID, but 3 times since 2019, we've had what's called a Celebration of Easton event. And we celebrated different groups within the town. The first year, we celebrated nonprofits throughout Easton. The second year that we hosted it, we celebrated the emergency services, the school, and everybody else, every other town institution that successfully got us through COVID. And then the third year, we celebrated the veterans. And so we wanted to hold the event this year, and Dale and I were brainstorming. We said, well, why don't we have a celebration of Easton's history? And so that's what we'd like to move forward with. I spoke with Ken Michael, and I'm looking at a date. It's a tentative date. There are a number of hoops that I need to jump through in order to solidify this as a date, but probably May 10th. And I would like to hold it at Stonehill, probably the Science Center, which is where we've had celebrations of Easton in the past, but to be determined on that. And what I'd like to do is, open it to, any kind of feedback or recommendations about what to cover, but we'll probably cover aspects of history in the town. I'll be leaning on Ken for input and others as well. And it should be a good event. We want it to be relevant, informative, but most of all fun.
I think it'd be great.
May 10th.
Yeah,
The day before
I would
Mother's
fix it
Day.
down.
He didn't see it.
Too hard, but yeah, we'll try and make it happen. And that depends on Stonehill's availability as well, and also cost. So we'll have to, yeah. There might be an online auction aspect, so that way we can defray some of the costs. And that'll be operated through the wires. So, we wanted to make ourselves disposed to help maybe the lines, but we also wanted to ensure that we included the appropriate groups with historical acumen and interest, so because we're not the history experts, although some of us are history nerds, so that way we can make it a fun and informative event.
I think it's a terrific addition to our celebration. Anything you want to add, Ken?
No, it's all been said. I've said it concisely.
Good. The sooner you can come up with an official date and place, that we can make it part of our
I'm on a bus.
schedule. Good. Anything you want to say about the barbecue?
No, I mean, we'll be there to provide the manpower in order to do the food. I was kind of hoping that the food, would be provided by the committee for us to cook. So that way we're not having to dig into our charitable funds and scholarship funds and so forth. So it's kind of, we could be the manpower for that. And I'd like for you to keep in mind too, as you're holding events throughout the year, come to us if you need additional volunteers. I can always put a blast out to my club, and we might be able to score up half dozen, maybe 2 dozen or more, depending upon the timing of the event. Saturdays are a bit problematic because we operate the thrift store from 10 to 2, but after that and on Sundays we're better. During the week we probably have a little more flexibility as well, so keep us in mind.
I know I've been visiting all the supermarkets. I'm the only guy that goes to the supermarket without using a carriage, and they know automatically I'm there for donations. But I've been talking to some of the managers about the possibility of donating burgers and dogs and rolls and chips and maybe cold drinks that can possibly be free You folks serve it, prepare it, and maybe I can help in getting some of that food there. If anybody else on the committee has ideas, or maybe there could be a sponsor that could jump in and help pay for the food. I think that sounds like an easy thing to do. But we'll work on that and we'll talk. Anything else, Rob, you want to add?
Yeah.
Question?
Johnny had asked me if we
Has anybody spoken to...
and dryer laters and whatever else is necessary.
Okay.
Has anybody spoken to Simpson Spring about sponsoring?
We got water from them.
Yeah, they weren't feeling very charitable when I was soliciting them, but they've been going through some things, so.
Oh, yeah, they had some trouble.
Yeah. So-
They're going to donate water for
Yeah.
the picnic. They're going to
The picnic, the flag ceremony, they are going to donate water for the parade. So they've been on board. They haven't said no. Anything else, Rob?
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob.
Anniversary book update. Chris is not here this evening. Sally, you got anything you want to add? Have you
No,
talked with Chris?
would like to talk to Chris and just see if there's any way I can help out. I haven't had a chance yet.
Has anybody in the committee heard anything from Elaine Sears? She's been talking about a World War II play. It's going to be in a church hall, and I don't have any information on it yet, but we'll put that on the agenda and invite her to the next meeting.
She's having it at the Lutheran Church.
Lutheran Church, that's what I heard.
Yep.
Okay.
Dave,
Yes.
you forgot the block party.
Hmm?
The block party isn't listed on here.
I think we're pretty well set with the block party, but
We can talk about it in the spring.
I didn't want you to feel left out.
I appreciate it.
I purposely didn't put on the agenda the block party, the gala. Some things are in the second half of the year meetings to cover all that stuff. Under new business and old business, does anybody have anything that they would like to add? I wanted to ask Craig if there's anything you want to say to the committee about permits or...
No, I think the coordinators know that what they have to do. That's why I was talking to Jack about getting permits for the road closures. But anytime you have anything that involves road closures or meals or anything like that, you have to get permits. And we already talked about the food trucks that have to go through their process before we can even talk to them. They have to get their licenses and their, through the town, through Health and Human Services and the Health Department.
We have a list of about 78 volunteers, and we're going to be contacting those volunteers to participate in many of the events. Regardless of what date you have, it's good to get as many things done as possible before we hit 2025. And I think we're on track. I appreciate some of the pain you have to go through at these meetings. Sometimes there's a lot of repetition. Sometimes things have to be repeated more than once to make sure we all understand as a committee. I'm very pleased at where we are and where we're going, and I think the town's going to be very proud of this year-round celebration. And there are some folks that we still need to see at our meetings so that we can fine-tune. There's a lot of follow-up that has to be done. Even though I say to each and every one of you, congratulations. This is the last meeting before we hit the new year. But we got a lot to do during the new year to fine-tune everything that's been planned. We're going to have some huge crowds that come to these events, and we have to be prepared. So I wanted to take this opportunity to wish you all the best during the holidays. I wish I could give you all new cars instead of just a box of chocolates.
Oh, that'll do.
But the
That would
fact
be
is
nice.
that how sweet it is to see what you folks have done in the planning of this celebration. And as I said to the board, the fundraising is underway. We certainly appreciate the billboard, the pole banners are going to go up, the posters done by Southeast Regional, all the cooperation from the town department heads. And if you are out there watching this and you'd like to sign up and volunteer, take a look at our webpage and sign up. Every now and then Mike will let me know that there are new people that would like to jump on board. Go ahead, Diane.
You mentioned the billboard briefly. Micah did a fabulous job.
Yeah.
It's
Very
really
great. No, that was a
very,
joint
very
effort.
nice job.
It does look
catches
good.
your eye. Came out very well.
And I'm glad you brought that up because Mike now is working on the next edition
Next
of that
phase.
billboard. Was it every 3 or 4 months? We're going to make that
looks
change.
awesome.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
And if you have any thoughts, pass them over to Mike. And I just want you to know, Courtney, that we're going to have the sponsors on the next billboard. And we ought to be able to find a place to put in the events that haven't taken place, just so that people, again, are reassured about the dates. And maybe we'll have room for our theme. But we can think about it. And don't let it go too long. As I said, time flies when you're having fun. So, that's going to wrap it up for our meeting tonight. Do we have a motion to adjourn before we
Motion.
jump into the refreshments?
Motion.
A motion by Diane. Do we have a second?
Second, Rosie.
We have a second by Roz. The motion on the floor is do we adjourn? All those in favor, raise your right hand. The meeting is adjourned.
Yay.